from the back. He's got Bjornaby in his viewfinder. Hit the target, but Russians to battle to win the ball back. Russia's foul. Liverpool take the free kick quickly. Here is Fowler! And Seaman had to be well placed. Fowler will be happy with that. He hit the target, and he was a good yard or two in front of the Arsenal defender as well. Robbie Fowler, 22 goals so far this season. Ian Rush coming, looking for the ball, holding onto it well. Now McManaman. Jones. McManaman again, spare man wide on the left-hand side, but Liverpool take the central route to goal. There's the spare man, Bjornaby. Now back. Red shirts lining up in the centre. It's over the both of them. Oh, Seaman's lost it! Dear me. Whoops-a-daisy, David Seaman. His mistake has actually set Arsenal off on a counter-attack, but nervous moments from the man regarded as England's top keeper. Phil Babb showing his worth, getting that cross in a moment ago for Seaman to come for. David Seaman could have been so embarrassing, and at the cop end as well. Ball falls to Fowler. Lays it off beautifully to Bjornaby. Fowler at the far post, Rush at the near post, and Winterburn didn't really know where he was. Giving away a corner, and now the Giants lumber forward. Taken quickly. Little flick off, falls to Scales. The foot away though by Jensen. Redknapp. McManaman. Still the big men in there if they can deliver the cross. Dazzleton with his skill, and the pass as well. Fowler once, Fowler twice, and Rush not the third time, played virtually off the line. Ian Rush, by his standards, will be ruining that one. Dixon's down, Liverpool keep playing. Barnes, Liverpool keep going though. Arsenal are effectively down to 10 men. The cross goes in, and that'll be a goal kick. And Lee Dixon in the wars. He's been down twice. It's partly his heroics which saved Arsenal there. Beautiful play from McManaman. Look at that eye of the needle pass. Little stub from Fowler. And there it was a fight between Rush and Dixon. And Dixon gets the bruise, but also keeps the clean sheet. Jones. McManaman. Certainly looks like an England partnership of the future on this right-hand side. It's just impossible to get the ball off McManaman, or so it seems. Arsenal are finding it that way. Falls to Rush, takes a deflection, and Seaman keeps his feet. Look at the skill. Just how they respect Steve McManaman. Arsenal, they put two defenders on him, and Ian Rush 18 yards, and if David Seaman had committed himself, that could have been an embarrassing own goal. Winterburn put under a bit of pressure by his fellow defenders. Fowler's cut off the keeper, just makes it to Seaman. And right, all on his lonesome. This is Parler trying to install a bit of power, and that's had to be a good save by David James. Well done, Ray Parler. He didn't have a great deal of support, and thought the shot was worth trying. James could have been caught cold. He's had very little to do in the other 35 minutes of the game, and a good save by James. Taking the corner as well. Little flick on, falling in here, and cleared by Bjornaby. Hillier, the man with the chance. They find McManaman just behind the front two. Fowler makes a run. Barnes is wide. Babb puts the cross in over everyone. One defender to another. Jones's cross. Rush tries to find a space. So does Fowler. Tries to find a shot. Nobody quite knows what's going to happen here, other than McManaman, and that was a glorious chance. He's a real whippersnapper, isn't he? Well, look at the Arsenal defence. Regarded as the best defence in Britain. Well, they were at 6s and 7s there. McManaman almost gave Liverpool the lead. Now McManaman. Balls to Barnes. The playmakers play together. Bjorneby. The goal scorers wait in the centre. Bjorneby has been one of Liverpool's best sources of attacking moves. Ball is left to the red net. Is he going to use the right club for this one? Thinks it in. Rush in there. This kicks all around. Great save by Seaman. Looked like the defender had handled the ball there. Barnes tries to get it in. Rush tries to get it in. And Liverpool are adamant that that was a penalty. We'll see it again in the second. Meanwhile, Arsenal are on attack at the other end, and maybe James applies a bit of Robillard logic to that one. Well, a tremendous save by David Seaman, but was he the only man using his hands inside that 6-yard box? Again, very rough challenge. We've had 2 yellow cards already for Arsenal. That could well have been a third, but Winterburn escapes. And this was the penalty incident from a moment ago. Great save initially from David Seaman, going down bravely to block the shot. And then, well, I tell you what, if Lee Dixon had goalie gloves on, you would have said it was a good save. But the referee obviously didn't think it was intentional. Redknapp's cross. Oh, and again an amazing save by David Seaman. Not that he knew anything about it. He sees the funny side of it. He might well. Ian Rush had a clear header at goal. He did everything instinctively right, down at the goalkeeper's feet. That's what you teach centre forwards to do. But Seaman with a brilliant save. Now Bjorneby. Look how far forward he is for a supposed left-back. Look how much space Robbie Fowler has. Now it's Rush, trying to get the shot at goal, and easy really for David Seaman. Liverpool given far too much space by Arsenal. Ian Rush allowed to dance past 2 defenders there. And David Seaman getting behind the ball. Rush still can't find the net. From Parlour. John Barnes careful not to give away the free kick, and Hillier hoists it over the bar. Arsenal's best chances in this first half have really come from long-distance shots. None of them duly troubled David James. Referee Philip Don checks his watch. A couple of minutes of stoppage time in a very entertaining first half. Alas, no goals. Chief tormentor of Arsenal has been Steve McManaman. They'll be glad to see the back of him for 15 minutes at least. And Lee Dixon, the talking point of the first half. He certainly handled the ball. Did he mean to? The cop thought so. Philip Don didn't think so. They're still talking about it. They're still arguing about it. Half-time score. Liverpool 0, Arsenal 0. So Arsenal kick off the second half, holding on to an impressive cup record of 10 games this season, unbeaten in all of them. And the first half performance, maybe their best bet was to take Liverpool back to Highbury. It's a cold night, as you can see. John Barnes wearing the gloves for the second half. Liverpool fans are arguing that Lee Dixon should have been wearing the gloves for Arsenal. Much discussion about the alleged penalty incident, which wasn't, according to the referee, shortly before half-time. Philip Don, I think, answered a question of every Liverpool player: why wasn't this a penalty in the first half? Lee Dixon would argue he was trying to block his face, but he looks rather suspicious. But imagine the words from George Graham were rather strong at half-time, with a tinge of encouragement as well. They defended pretty resolutely. They haven't shown much flair in the opponent's half of the field. There's Wright looking on to Campbell. James comes off his line. He's lost it. Bailed out by Bjornaby. David James looks odds-on to get there first. But slid under the colossus of a keeper. And Arsenal have the best chance of the second half. Nice piece of play between Campbell and Wright. The forward got there first, and Parlour couldn't quite get onto the rebound. Schwartz put some power behind it, and James had a good view. Stephen Schwartz's shot, looking for his 4th goal of the season. Manaman lets it go. There is a spare man on this side in Bjornaby. Manaman at the near post, Fowler at the far, just waiting in case Seaman drops it. Maybe he knew something there. Fowler couldn't find Rush, and the goalkeeper gets away with it. This is Bjornaby. Liverpool trying to make the most of some shaky defending by Arsenal. They just can't clear the ball. Rob Jones looking for his first goal of the season. There he goes. The referee was willing to give him the advantage, but Redknapp couldn't keep his feet, and a free kick in a very dangerous central position. David Seaman, as O'Kerman will agree, has let his fair share of free kicks from this kind of position in. He's going to take this. It looks like a set piece which has been worked on. Oh, what a great set piece! What a great goal! Rush finishes off a coaching masterstroke. Well, I wonder what the Liverpool players thought of that when Roy Evans chalked it up on the dressing room blackboard. 3 simple passes, was it? And Ian Rush doing what he does best, scoring a goal from 6 yards out. That for the free kick, so simple really, and clinically finished. Ian Rush moves 1 goal nearer the League Cup record, 2 away from Jeff Hurst's 49. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Arsenal have to chase the game. They have to come out of their defensive shell. Spare man in Parlour on the right. Nowhere to hide. Substitution being made. Michael Thomas, the former gunner, takes off the gear, keeping him warm on a frosty night. And John Barnes, who seemed to have been struggling in the second half, goes off. Barnes has gone off, and Michael Thomas is still getting out of his thermals. Liverpool down to 10 men momentarily. shirts is he wearing? Michael Thomas finally gets on after getting through several layers of keep warm clothing. And cheers from both sets of fans for Michael Thomas. Jones. Well, he keeps going. Fowler to Michael Thomas, his first touch. Bjornaby. Rush and Fowler want the delivery. Thomas makes himself available. Neat 1-2. Thomas would love to score against Arsenal. He's going for it. David Seaman has to be careful. Thomas puts it in there and it's inches wide. Ian Rush with his back to goal almost scored a second for Liverpool there. But instigated by the former gunner, Michael Thomas. Showing guts and determination to get into the area. And Ian Rush did a backflip to try and score his 14th goal of the season. Rush hit 2 against Stoke, 3 against Blackburn, 1 tonight against Arsenal. Look at this for a simple set piece. And look at the way he gets away from the defender, giving him the skip. Finishing off in, well, typical Ian Rush fashion. 3/4 of the game gone, and I don't think I can recall David James having kicked a ball out of his hand yet. Everything for Liverpool has been built from the back. Manaman. It's had a quiet 10 minutes, and you can't let him loose. Footwork again. Liverpool are catching Arsenal a little cold. That free kick was taken quickly, that throwing was taken quickly, and again almost produced a goal. Winterburn to Jensen. Winterburn does well to keep it in and delivers the cross. Campbell's head of the goalkeeper, and Ruddock in a bit of a mix-up. Kevin Campbell's cross wasn't the best in the world, but Neil Ruddock and David James kind of left it to each other and got in each other's way at the same time. Spin of the ball working in David James's favour. Go back. Liverpool certainly started the game the better team, but one or two weary legs out there, not from sticking to Bjornaby. Rifles in the shot. Bjornaby still looking for his first goal of the season, but has 2 or 3 attempts every game, loves a shot from distance and tries from the most impossible angles. The road 2 challenge as well there. I thought, hey, why not? Babb wins the header. He's had a good game, Phil Babb, tonight, one of his better in a Liverpool shirt. Manaman, willing to take on all 4 Arsenal defenders, passes the responsibility to Bjornaby. Now Fowler, lovely dummy on his right foot, and Seaman saw that leg. Willing to have a go with either foot, the predominantly left-footed Robbie Fowler. Redknapp, the game is beginning to open up now. Robbie Fowler with that beautiful little dummy sent the defender, but Seaman had his eye on the ball all of the way. Robbie Fowler still fighting. He gets the referee's advantage as well. And gets the corner, and the referee brings the suspense to an end. Anfield erupts. Another vital goal from Ian Rush as the problems mount for poor old George Graham. No chance of the Premiership, out of the Coca-Cola Cup. Liverpool take another step towards Wembley, their 9th League Cup semi-final ever. Ian Rush's 47th League Cup goal. The Kop are delighted, a good crowd in here tonight. Another very able Liverpool performance. Final score at Anfield, Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Where did that free kick come from?
Well, we've been at it all season really, and we tried at Blackburn, it nearly came off there, but funny enough we tried it in training this morning and nothing was happening right, so when it came like with Barnsley and Razor, we've seen them standing there, and you know, when Barnsley passed to Razor, you know, I just made the run and Razor gave a great ball in, and it's in the back of the net. So it's nice when set pieces like that come off.
Well, do you have any preferences or anybody you would like to avoid in the semis?
No, we said the same all the time. We didn't really want Blackburn in the previous round, and we didn't want Arsenal in this round. So we just see how the draw goes. You know, there's 4 left in it, and we'll just see who we get.
Well, they say, Jim, don't they, that teams have their names written on the cup in some kind of, some sort of like fate, if you like. I suppose he must be favourite to lift the cup at the moment.
Well, the Coca-Cola Cup is his cup this season. Every time we seem to watch him, he scores goals, and again, he got the winner tonight. And superbly worked. And back in my time at Anfield, we very rarely worked on set pieces, but they tried it out tonight and it's come off. But I don't think Arsenal will be happy with some of the defending.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautifully taken goal. It's a bit like Robbie Fowler's against Burnley, the same kind of little dink played in.
He's just broken away off the wall. Winterburn's failed to follow him. You know, and the irony is the fact that Arsenal are probably the set piece specialists in the country. And when Rushy gets in that position, just outside the 6-yard box with the goal at his mercy, he's never going to miss it.
Is it a cliche to keep referring to Arsenal as boring old Arsenal? Is it still applicable, or is it unfair?
Well, at times it is, and I thought tonight it was applicable. I mean, they packed the midfield tonight, they played it very tightly, and they tried to stop Liverpool any way they could, and they rode their luck as well, Arsenal. I mean, Lee Dixon gets back here and makes a superb challenge as Ian Rush comes in on it. And then the main talking point of the night, John Scales probably should have scored, good save from Seaman, and the ball clearly hits Lee Dixon on the hand. And here it comes again. Scales is blocked by Seaman, and there's Dixon clearly handling the ball. I think what he's probably tried to do, thinking it was going to be a stampede to try and get the ball in the net, he's raised his arms and trying to protect his head, but he's clearly handled with the referee only a few yards.
I suppose when you are as defensively minded as they are, then you invite things like that.
Exactly.
Now, what about Steve McManaman? He seems to make a considerable difference to Liverpool when he's fit. In fact, Robbie Fowler said only last week that he's sort of like a new player for them this season.
Well, Liverpool seem to respond that extra little bit when McManaman is about, and he came back from injury before Christmas. They've had a marvellous spell ever since, and tonight he was the man that Arsenal tried to stop more than any other Liverpool player on the pitch. Every time he picked the ball up, there was somebody close at hand. And what they tried to stop most is him getting into his stride. Here you see John Jensen come back, take him from behind before he can really get running at defences. And then later on, 3 Arsenal players around him. Schwartz pushes him into the corner. Winterburn is also back there. Makes it almost impossible for him to get the cross in. And they guarded him so closely tonight, he found it hard to make his mark.
Overall impression on Liverpool?
Doing very well now. There's an extra resilience about them, resourcefulness. They're looking very good now. And of course, all that comes from confidence. Completely different side now to the side at the start of the season. And they're looking very good indeed.
OK, thanks, Jim. Well, of course, they also appear to be favourites to sign Stan Collymore from Nottingham Forest. He was thought to be Manchester United's prime target, and probably was until that chance phone call on Friday that led to Andy Cole's move to Manchester United, a record-breaking transfer of £7 million. Rob McCaffrey reports.
Judging by the players' faces at United's Cliff training ground today, you got the feeling that, rather like us, they knew precious little about the negotiations behind the shock transfer of the season.
Yeah, it's a black lad, isn't it?
Is it? He's got a few goals in it, hasn't he?
I don't know, he's struggling at the moment.
Oh, he's a bit lean spin, hasn't he?
But I think he didn't score for 9 goals, so we spent 6 million on him.
6 million?
Yeah, it's not bad for someone to score for 9 goals.
Kind of offer like when he was scoring, now 6 million when he's not.
You know what the thing is, though? I haven't scored for about 20 games, that must make me about 10 million, mustn't it?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah?
And I'm prolific at the moment.
The man himself was at a funeral today. United are obviously delighted to have him, if a little surprised. But in many ways, it's what Cole's left behind that's causing the concern. On Tyneside, there's a sense of disbelief. Newcastle supporters have seen this kind of sale all too often. Kevin Keegan trained with his side this morning, and though he's become a self-styled Geordie Messiah, he suddenly walked into a storm, and this is not one of the teacup variety.
Why keep Gillespie? Why not Marquis?
Well, I mean, you're now starting to want to manage Newcastle United. You know, if you want to manage Newcastle United, you'll have to apply for the job if I don't make a good job of it. But you're starting now to pick players. You've got to let me pick the players.
But you just have to look at Howard Wilkinson to see what Keegan's up against. He and Leeds have never quite been the same since you-know-who was allowed to drift down the M62 to Manchester. Cole had Cantona status on Tyneside, and you don't replace heroes lightly.
I don't know, I may be wrong, but I couldn't see you selling somebody to Blackburn at the moment, one of your main players.
Well, I mean, Newcastle have come a long way, and Kevin maybe looks at the club and says that maybe needing several players to maybe get them to the next stage. I don't know. That seems maybe the case, I don't know. But in our case, we're looking for one player. So sometimes you have to give something to get something else yourself. Like I gave Keith Gillespie to get Andy Cole.
The fans who'd gathered for a glimpse of the new hero also made sure they showed loyalty to an established hero, Mark Hughes, whose future is now in doubt.
Do you want to stay?
Obviously I want to stay, yeah. Because I've been here for 10, 15 years, so it's very much part of my football life.
Do you think the situation might be taken out of your hands, though?
I don't know, it's not for me to say. Okay.
Come what may, it's Cole mania that will dominate Manchester United in the near future. Shirt sales are already starting to roll. Soon his face will adorn the photos, key rings and T-shirts in the megastore, paying a hefty slice off a hefty transfer fee.
I would like them to sort of Ian Rush sort of type the way he plays. And if he scores as many goals as Ian Rush, then we'll all be happy, of course.
Well, a transfer that certainly reverberated around football, Jim, but what about the repercussions?
Well, for me, I think we're going to see probably a merry-go-round of big money moves now, big players moving clubs. Kevin Keegan seems to think he has to go abroad now. But if Andy Cole can be prized away for the right fee, the likes of Armstrong, Ferdinand, and one or two others probably can be as well, Collymore included. So I think we could see quite a few in the next few weeks.
The first 10 million transfer briefly within 3 years?
Well, there's every chance. You know, a few years ago we were talking about Alan Shearer, 3.5 million, something like that, and now it's gone up 7. I mean, 10 in 3 years quite easily.
OK. Well, after the break, Manchester City at the graveyard of many cup hopes and aspirations, Selhurst Park.
Good advantage played there. And Fitcroft is through. And a great save by Martin. He's had an injection on a shoulder he injured in that game, and he'll continue to fly down the left flank for Palace, allowing John Solarco to operate tonight through the middle with Armstrong. Manchester City, well, Keith Curle back in their defence. It's a timely return because Ian Brightwell suspended. Nicky Summerby tonight takes over at right back from John Foster. Niall Quinn, who came on as a sub at Notts County on Sunday, will play in support of the two main front runners, Uwe Rosler and Paul Walsh. Our referee tonight is Martin Bowdenham of Cornwall. And a really novel move by the Palace manager Alan Smith tonight. He's had a punch bag installed in their dressing room. His forwards certainly have shown a lack of punch in recent Premiership games, but tonight they've concentrated, Alan says, on sharpening their footwork around it. We'll see if it works. Palace get us underway. Semi-final beckons then. A place at Wembley eventually, and a place in Europe next season for the eventual winners there. Huge money-spinning incentives in a game that, I don't know, seems to get more money conscious as each day goes by. Coleman watching Rosler. Southgate. Palace with a super win in the last round against the holders, Aston Villa 4-1. Was certainly no better than City's performance in the last round going to Newcastle and winning. Here's Nadal. Down that left flank, the cross coming in, and Curl getting to it before the ball could get through to Armstrong at the expense of a corner. Coleman up from the back, who scored the first goal on Sunday against Lincoln City that really opened the floodgates early on in the game. Armstrong also ready to make a little rush towards the near post. Armstrong is in there, and it's off the post, and Quinn used his height well to put it away for Manchester City, but Armstrong leaping superbly there from Newman's corner, and City very lucky to escape. Another corner then for Palace. Again Coleman, and Armstrong poised, hitting low this time, comes to Armstrong again, and Solarco's header kicked off the line that time by Phelan. Southgate turning it in, it might come for Armstrong again, then Beagrie acrobatically gets it clear. Gordon. A positive start for Palace, but an unlucky one as Gordon now tries to get the ball in. Walsh finds Peter Beagrie. Flitcroft chasing, Phelan outside him. Fitcroft long towards the 6'4" figure of Niall Quinn. Nadar's coming back to look after him. Lomas playing it in. Rosler trying to get to this one, but Humphrey gets it clear. So does Southgate for Crystal Palace. Solarco making a run, but Kernaghan puts an end to that one. Here's Chris Coca. Good left-footed and driving it now for Armstrong to chase. Armstrong and Pearl in a bit of trouble, possibly. No. Cleared his lines in the end with ease. Just for a moment there was a lack of communication between the defender and the goalkeeper, and Armstrong just for a moment looked as though he might take advantage of it. Sulako's cross way behind for the goal kick. Just for a moment it looked as though there was going to be a degree of panic there, but Curl knew exactly what he was going to do. Coleman hitting it forward. Southgate chasing. As a midfielder he gets his share of goals too. He's got the better of Phelan there. Oh my goodness, he nearly made it another one. Armstrong crossing it in, and City reforming in the shape of Keith Curl again, and this time it goes for the goal kick. But that was terrific work by Gareth Southgate. Just refused to give up, and then slung this cross in that had Dibble in a bit of trouble there, eventually palmed away by the City keeper. Well, the City substitute goalkeeper tonight, 43-year-old John Burridge. Where hasn't he played? He's certainly played plenty of times here for Crystal Palace, was a great favourite here, just as he is, of course, with the Manchester City fans now. Martin hits it long. The target is Armstrong. Phelan knocks it through. Can Salako finish it off? Summerby. Salako so close to being again. Dibble out very, very quickly. He needed to be. Good advantage played there, and Flitcroft is through, and a great save by Martin. That came about by an excellent piece of refereeing by Martin Boddenham. A first-class advantage played there by the referee, and Flitcroft is through. Martin, flying out of his goal, makes an excellent save. So just as we had some storming stuff right at the start of the game, we've got similar flourishes right at the end of this first half. As John Humphrey into Newman. Oh, and this might be for Armstrong. It's stopped by Dibble at the second attempt. Well, Armstrong will feel that it only needed to be a yard wide of the goalkeeper, and he would never have got to it. He headed it down superbly, and Dibble almost comfortably took the second one. Oh, that's headed down by Phelan for Armstrong. That's too powerful though for Nadar. Had he been away on that left touchline, it would have been perfect for him. Playing time added on at the end of a fast-moving and thrilling first 45 minutes. And it's still 0-0. Plenty of chances, certainly Palace's way. And some quality football too, particularly in defence by Manchester City. But Armstrong hitting the bar in the opening minutes was the closest Palace have come. But at half-time in this Coca-Cola quarter-final, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 0. So City get the second half underway. Competition they've won twice, way back in 1970 and 76. Palace have never won it. They got to the semi-finals in the 92-93 season, and then were beaten by Arsenal. There's Beagrie playing it in, and a nice little layoff there by Quinn, but also a good, strong and a fair challenge by Darren Pitcher. Southgate finds Armstrong. Salako's through the middle. Nadar's gone up there as well. Pitcher's gone into it as well. Salako's header tipped over by Dibble. Well, that's how we started the first half, with some good crosses being got in by Palace. Good headers on target. And Palace have won another corner here, which Ricky Newman will take. Mickey Summerby at the near post. Solarco lurking. Dibble started and then, well, he started to go and then held back. Southgate's shot was knocked off the line, and there by Newman, wide of the far post for the goal kick. So just as they did in the first half, Palace starting in a very positive and bright way. Steve Coppell in the centre of the picture there. He had 9 years as manager here at Crystal Palace, 1984 to 1993, and successful ones they were too. Gordon doing well. Now Nadar. Can he get the cross in? He can. And yet again, Kernighan's there. How many times have we said that already in this second half? Nadar. Oh, he's bought himself a yard of space there. Done it well. Gordon, he's driven it. And it's well saved. Dean Gordon's a fullback who likes to have a pulpit goal. He's scored 3 times this season. Drove that really well. Other City players gone down. Here's Walsh. It's Beagrie, I think, who's injured. Rossler. And Coleman eventually gets his challenge in. Beagrie up on his feet again. It's a throw to Manchester City. Some of his throw. Gordon's header clear. Kernighan driving it from a long way out, hoping for the right sort of ricochet, and flip-flopped. With a snap shot, which Martin was well behind. Curl's header, and won by Shaw. It's a good ball there by Gordon for Solarco, and he's crossed it in well! Oh, there was a real chance there. Can Southgate finish it off? Pitches with a shot, and they scored! Chasing and Curl getting it clear. Solarco. Oh, my goodness, nearly another one. Came off the defender as Dibble was diving in his goal and goes behind for another corner. Solarco getting it onto that left foot, and in the end it came off Kernighan. Newman with the corner, played in, and Beagrie getting it clear. Up to Walsh. Lomas chasing. Oh, not very good clearance by Martin. He's got to hurry back to his goal. Quinn playing the ball through again to Steve Lomas. And once again, Coleman's there. And, oh, Coleman and Lomas getting involved. Put a bit of pushing and jostling and shoving there, and so unnecessary. And the referee, we need to see what the referee's going to do here. He's telling the rest of the players to get away, and he's reaching for his pocket. Coleman has been so important to Palace in their defence, and Lomas in the midfield for Manchester City. It's a yellow card. And Lomas might have something more than that, judging by the reaction he had. No, it's a yellow card for him. And in the meantime, Manchester City are going to make a substitution. They want to take Niall Quinn off. Well, that was... It's so silly, isn't it? That could so easily have been red rather than yellow, although, to be fair, the referee has done a terrific job here tonight. So Quinn is off, and the German international, Maurizio Gaudino, is on. Simon Smith, this is good cup progress for him. It's important for Crystal Palace that they put these results together. Up goes Rossler. They held off for a moment there. They also need points towards the bottom of the Premiership as Beagrie puts it in again. And a great save by Martin. Lomas flying at that one, and looks as though he's injured himself as well. Maybe he swallowed his tongue. It's one of those occasions where they do need a physio on very quickly indeed. He's obviously in a bit of trouble there, Steve Lomas. Played in by Beagrie. Came flying in here for this one. And it was a super piece of work by Martin. And David Brightwell, the sub, who's warming up. And the substitution will be made. Brightwell will be on. Where were we? It's a corner, which Summerby will take. Midfielders there, but that wasn't a very good corner, and Nadar will hack that away. Oh, there's a lot of space on the far side for Salako, and Armstrong has found him beautifully. He'll try to jink onto the left foot. It's a wonderful goal! John Salako, and it's 2-0. Well, you don't see better goals than that. And it's just what we were saying about catching them on the break. And a lot of credit to Chris Armstrong, who found Salako with this lovely ball. He was always going to jink feeling inside, and then wham on that left foot. Bang into the corner with an unerring eye. And it's 2-0 Crystal Palace. A superb goal by Salako. Rossler will seek to get in there first, but Coleman beat him to it. Priest. Southgate, the flag stays down, it's Armstrong, with Newman waiting in the middle. Can Armstrong find him? Terrific stuff again! Chris Armstrong makes it free, and Palace are in the semi-finals without a doubt. Great piece of finishing again from an acute angle. Armstrong flying in again. Hits the stanchion at the back, it bounces back into play, but it's 3-0. Gordon. Salako touching it on. Priest is there, he might make it 4! They've got 5 and then a 4, 9 goals. Terrific second half performance by Crystal Palace. And not least the quality of their goals. Referee looking at watches on both his wrists. And he's satisfied. There goes the final whistle. Well, Palace made the chances in the first half, and they took them superbly in the second. 4-0 is a really convincing margin. And this from a side, remember, that had gone so long without scoring in the Premiership. The fact they've now scored 9 in the last 4 days. 5 against Lincoln City on Sunday, 4 against Manchester City here tonight to go into the semi-finals. No wonder the crowd are applauding here. It's a night they'll long remember here at Selhurst Park. It's the quarter-final of the Coca-Cola Cup, and it finished Crystal Palace 4, Manchester City 0.
Yeah, City well beaten in the end, and there were no complaints afterwards from their manager, Brian Horton. Well, not about the result anyway. Coming next, the scourge of the Premiership, Bolton Wanderers.
Still going, roared on, listen to the noise. Still Thompson, and that'll get him going.
Well, so far it's been a case of the good news and the bad news. Liverpool through, Manchester City out. Well, no one's done more to further the spirit and concept of domestic cup football than Bolton Wanderers, who've been knocking 7 bells out of the Premiership for the past 3 seasons.
Ring out the old, ring in the new. At Bolton tonight, it was Norwich for whom the bell tolled. Bolton are the Premiership giant killers. 8 times Wanderers have beaten teams from the top division under Bruce Rioch's reign. Remember, they've already accounted for Norwich's great rivals, Ipswich, on this cup run.
Very disappointing result Saturday away to Portsmouth, but all credit to Portsmouth, they deserve to win on the day. So hopefully we'll get back to maybe a so-called giant killing act tonight.
It's hard to say why Bolton do so well against the so-called bigger teams, but the past 2 seasons have been simply glorious. Pictures decorating the club walls capture the dreams. The 3 degrees after victory against Liverpool. The famous 5 after victory against Everton. But for true glory, you have to still trundle all the way back to 1958, to Nat Lofthouse, for FA Cup victory against Manchester United. At least John McGinley didn't have to beat Brian Gunn tonight. He was out injured. But then Bolton don't discriminate against Premiership opposition. A 3-1 victory against West Ham in the last round was almost taken in their stride. But now, with a semi-final at stake, they've got to be thinking about going all the way.
Have you thought about Wembley? I mean, it is within your grasp now, isn't it?
No, I think you would need to wait till the next game before you think about Wembley. I mean, it's the same old story as last year. We played Oldham and got beat. So it's going so close, you know, yet so far.
Do you fancy your chances against another Premiership side tonight?
Yeah, very much so. I think if we can play our game, as we know we can, then I think we've got a great chance.
The former Norwich striker Chris Sutton, no longer the most expensive striker in Britain, was one interested spectator tonight. Another, your commentator at Burnden Park, Alistair Mann.
After adopting a 4-3-3 formation in Saturday's defeat in the FA Cup at Portsmouth, Bruce Rioch is back to 4-4-2. Owen Coyle, the man missing out, he's on the bench. Both David Lee and Alan Thompson had the width tonight. Both were brought on Saturday to try to change things. Sadly, though, to no avail. No doubts over John McGinley, though. He's Bolton's top marksman this season, as he was last, and he's reported to want to pledge his future to Bolton Wanderers for the rest of his career. Problems for Norwich, though. Their midfield plans were shaken by the loss of Mike Milligan. The former Oldham man has the flu. Jeremy Goss deputises. Mark Bowen, though, is back for Norwich after a month out with ankle trouble. And it's Rob Newman up front once again. Ashley Ward cup-tied, having played for Crewe in round 1. Up front with Newman, another familiar Northwest face, Mike Sheeran. Particularly special day for him. He's 23 today, and his birthday will be celebrated with his family, who are all here to watch. The referee is David Ellery from Harrow. He was in charge of the 1994 FA Cup final, awarding United 2 penalties, of course. Well, with so many Premiership scalps already taken by Bolton Wanderers over the past few years, you almost expect them to win this one tonight. But they'll be particularly conscious that Norwich City travel to another good First Division side, Grimsby Town, on Saturday, and knock them out of the FA Cup. McAteer. Green again. You'll notice it's quite rutted down this right-hand side, but it's not going to put David Lee off. And the early chance to cross. And it was a good opportunity for Wanderers. And it had to be a good firm header away by Ian Crook. Suddenly opened up down this right-hand side. Lee looking up, but Crook was in the way. An early corner. McGinley was there, so too was the goalkeeper Marshall. Scott Green could hear the footsteps of Darren Eadie breathing, or rather making the noise from behind him. But the ball rather given away by Jimmy Phillips. Schnaker's kept it alive and won a free kick, which he's in too much of a hurry to take, according to the referee. Ian Crook was the man penalised. McGinley battling well. McAteer, Katalainen pulling away to the left. McAteer going the more central position. And in the end, as Thompson closed in, he was closed down. Mike Sheeran. Nice skills down the far touchline. But in the end, it's Richard Schnakers who comes away with the ball, and Thompson who shows the early trick. Still going, roared on, listen to the noise. Still Thompson! And that'll get him going. Palmed over the top by Marshall. Too much pace on the shot for him to gather it into the chest. And Thompson is in the mood, all right. Good shot, parried away. Quick corners. In space, there was McGinley with the header, and Schnakers there arrived as well. And then Marshall gathered to his right-hand side. 2 targets there. And the header down was firm, but easily gathered. Promising start for Bolton. Rob Newman closed down by Simon Coleman. Adams allowed to run some 40 yards from one side of the pitch, almost to the other. Bowen coming back in the direction from which Adams came. Ian Crook. And again. Nice little touch from Jeremy Goss. It's a good ball towards Mike Shearer. McAteer just flicked off the side of his boot, ended up in the hands of Keith Brannigan, and he immediately sets Bolton away, and the cup tie atmosphere and the cup tie pace is already underway with barely 4 minutes on the clock. Here's David Lee. McGinley just forced away. Good defending. David Lee with a second opportunity. Pulling away was Thompson. He'll get there. Driven in towards the head of Richard Schnakers, and it was Mitsu Padalainen who got the touch. Good run from Schnakers. Padalainen got in front of him, and he puts his hands on his head because that was a good opportunity for Padalainen. And Marshall again let it slip from his grasp. And at the other end, meanwhile, Mike Sheeran. Edie to the knee up. Good save by Brannigan and hooked away by Coleman. What a start this is. No relenting. McGinley, Schnakers. Patalainen trying to pull away. Here's McGinley. David Lee to the right. Schnakers has made another terrific run. It just hit the back of Polston. Schnakers battling. Here's McGinley. McAteer. David Lee. Good foot on it there to take the pace out of it by Bowen. Here's McGinley. David Lee. Well, chances at both ends. Perhaps the best one falling the way of Norwich a moment ago. Mike Sheeran was allowed to continue, and a good save by Keith Brannigan. Here's Thompson now. Loves that left foot, and the low shot, always favouring Marshall rather than the corner of the goal. But Thompson, never afraid to have a go, scored a vital goal in the 1-0 win over Tranmere Rovers recently. But on this occasion, Marshall's positioning spot on. Touch by Goss. Good one by Crook. Here's Newman. Mark Bowen. Edie's pulled away to the left-hand side. Scott Green covering. Trying not to dive in and give the little winger a chance to get away from him. Mark Bowen into Newman. Bowen again. Good stuff this by Norwich. Adams trying to get in there. Missed kick by Stubbs. Bowen has support to the left. Darren Edie in space. Good tackle, Scott Green. Super stuff. Nothing wrong with that. It's left Edie in a little bit of a heap on the ground, but certainly went for the ball, did Scott Green, and won it. And Scott Green sportingly allowing attentions for the man he just tackled. Tim Shepherd, the Norwich physio, out to tend to the young man. But you can watch this as a textbook tackle by a fullback on a winger. Ouch. Well, Rob Ullathorne makes his way onto the field after the unfortunate injury to Darren Edie. He's been playing at left back, but he'll have to come in at left midfield. And there, the saddest sight in football, when you see anyone going off the field in that manner, particularly a young man. And those Norwich fans will be hoping, like all of us, that he'll be back in the game soon. Alan Stubbs. Phillips just playing out what time there will be added on for the injury to Darren Eadie. Thompson. McGinley couldn't quite get there, fell for David Lee. Trying to sell a trick or two to Ullathorne. Scott Green now has time. It's not a bad cross in, and just for a minute there, Thompson almost had the opener well into stoppage time, but Marshall read it and gathered it. Lee to Green. Green looked up, and Thompson's header. Not the best ball by Scott Green, got it caught a little bit in the turf as he tried to hit that inside for Schneekers. Here's Coleman. Phillips. Nice touch by Patalainen. Here's Schneekers. McGinley desperate to keep onside. The flag went up, if a little late, but it did go up. McGinley was desperately trying to stay on, just tried to run the line, but the flag stopped him in his tracks, and Bolton Wanderers cannot build on this occasion. You can just see him there. Yeah, he's off. Not by much, but he's off. Kick by Marshall is a deep one aimed towards Newman. Breaks for Sheeran. Sheeran knocking it out to the right for Adams' run. That's a great ball in, a real opportunity, and well, Newman ought to have done better. And he knows it, stayed on the ground with his head in his hands, because that was the best chance really of anybody on the evening. Bending ball by Adams, up went Newman, hit the side of his head rather than the forehead, over the top. Bowen, good tackle McAteer, chance for Bolton to break, roared on by the Bolton Wanderers supporters. David Lee's off to the right, Patalainen's trying to keep on. And it's just too hard a ball, and I'm afraid that John McGinley won't get there. Well, normally Jason McAteer's passing is spot on. Stubbs went up for it, and he just caught the back of the head of Rob Newman, and he's in some pain. And David Elleray, because it's a knock to the face, doesn't want to take any chances. And Ewan Simpson, the Bolton physio, straight on there. Now watch him head the back of Newman's head here. Bang! That is a painful injury on the bridge of the nose. And the blood is pouring from the nose. Just a few moments ago, Rob Newman had the opportunity, the best opportunity so far to open the scoring, and knocked it over. Bruce Riant, the manager, shouting the instructions, checking that his man's all right. Darren Eadie with a set of crutches after that first half injury. We wish him a speedy recovery. Alan Stubbs. Thompson. Flicked off the back of Crook. McAteer, David Lee, cutting inside, keeping his balance, going right at the heart, all the way. What a goal! Absolutely outstanding. Oh, you'll go a long way before you see a goal as good as that. And it set this Coca-Cola Cup quarter-final alight. Superb. No other word to describe it. McAteer to David Lee, and from then on it's a Lee solo. Look at the balance, keeps his feet, bounces off challenges, and the finish is lethal. A goal to grace any occasion, and who knows, it might help Bolton Wanderers on the way to Wembley. David Lee, a superb moment for him and Bolton Wanderers. Bruce Rioch calming his men down, getting them to settle back into rhythm again. Richard Schnakers, Wanderers, the fans chant. Jimmy Phillips, no flag. Thompson, bags of time, driven cross, took a deflection, easy for Marshall. Scott Green's header. Sheeran doing well, not well enough. Stubbs loses out. Mike Sheeran, Akinbaye, what a chance! Good save. The offside flag went up in the end, and Brannigan wasn't to know, and Brannigan was furious. Well, Alan Stubbs here, grateful for the linesman's flag and his goalkeeper. Sheeran had it, pokes it across. The flag went up there. Akinbaye shot, Brannigan save. It didn't matter anyway, as it turned out. Olathorn's cross, chested down. The shot hits Coleman. Just for a moment there, Bowen's shot was goal bound. It struck John McGinley. Still, Bolton have 11 men behind the ball. Olathorn. Newman allowed to turn. Bowen there again. Great tackling Coleman. Goss can't get a shot in. Bowen's doing his best. Stubbs in the end. Thumps it away. And still Norwich keep possession. And still Norwich have 11 defenders to overcome in front of them. But again, there's men over. McAteer, though, this time. David Lee on the dummy. Little bit of a shove by Olathorn, and that will be Bolton Wanderers' free kick, and more importantly, a little bit of respite. Almost a minute of stoppage time played. Now, will Lee just simply try and eat some time up? Well, certainly that was in his mind, but he's given it away. One last chance for Norwich. No flag. Stubbs chasing back, Akinbaye at his heels. Oh, it almost broke for Newman for a minute. Phillips got the challenge in. It's a free kick on the edge. And it'll be a booking too for Phillips. Drama right at the end. Akinbaye just tried to get there. It almost broke for Newman. Phillips tried to get the ball, just caught Newman. Free kick right on the edge of the area. 90 seconds of injury time played, and Ian Crook, one of the best set-piece free kick takers in the country, is here waiting maybe to break Bolton Wanderers' hearts. Last chance. Great save! What a save by Brannigan. Well, if we've seen one of the goals of the season, we've now seen one of the saves of the season. Right under the crossbar. That is brilliant. World-class stuff. Look at that. They'll have to defend the corner. They've done so for the moment. What a save by Keith Brannigan. That's how cups are won and lost, on the narrowness of margins like that. It's not away yet. It surely will be now. The linesman signals full time. The referee signals full time. That's it. It's over. Bolton have won. What a night for them! Another high division scalp. Norwich have gone the way of so many Premiership sides here in recent times. It's more proof, if it were needed, that Bolton, if they can achieve their main aim of Premiership football, will be able to stay up there with the big men. But tonight, it's all about David Lee, Alan Stubbs and Keith Brannigan. The Bolton skipper has been outstanding. David Lee's goal, breathtaking. But I tell you what, if that was one of the goals of the season, these Wanderers fans will tell you how important Keith Brannigan's save was. It's a brilliant night for Wanderers, a superb game, a superb result for the North West. 1-0, the last four for Bolton Wanderers.
I've not had a look at that one yet, but what people have told me so far, it's probably one of my best I've had, yeah. I think the ball came to us, and I think it surprised Norwich a little bit, how much space we had. And that's my game, to attack defenders, and fortunately for me I was able to do that.
The timing makes it a good save, yeah, the timing. was crucial. You know, there's only a couple of minutes to go. Yeah, a good save. Yeah.
He struck it well enough, and the placement was good.
Yeah, like I say, there's so many bodies in the way. You just, you know, try and get something on the ball once it, you know, appears from amongst the pack kind of thing. That's all I did.
We had to withstand a little bit of pressure at the end of the game, but that's natural in a cup tie because you're hanging on in terms of with your 1-0 score line. You can see a clock that's run out, and the opposition are going to put the ball into your box quite quickly. You've got to defend, and I thought we defended that situation quite well, and we're delighted to be in the semi-final.
I bet they are too. The Happy Wanderers. Well, to complete the quarter-final picture, Swindon against Millwall, so 2 First Division clubs guaranteed a place in the semis, Bolton and one other. The commentator is Peter Brackley.
The on top now. Looking up with Beecham, with Notch in the middle, it's there! Swindon have scored! The on top. Trying to turn his man. Oh, what a goal! A fantastic goal by Jan Fjorton. Single header, that bit of quality at the back for Swindon. Much, that's an excellent pass. Fjorton now. Beecham up with him. Still Fjorton. This is Beecham. And Much. It's 3. On by Ray, Van Bleur. There's Mitchell! 3-1. Dave Mitchell against his former club.